That's right. Coming to you live from my grandparents' guest bedroom. It's the second annual Golden Tiki's, aka the only movie award show that truly matters. So with me tonight, I have my esteemed co-host who's been with us throughout this whole ordeal. We have PerGron. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, I'm the voice from beyond tonight, but I'm excited to go through. This has been a great award season, and Amelia Perez got no nominations, so you can take us way more seriously than everybody else.
I feel like that alone kind of makes us more legitimate than group, honestly. Fucking 13 nominations. I still can't believe that shit. Anyways. Okay, Kogia says, I've been looking forward to tonight's stream. I think the first Golden Tiki's is really good. Yeah, hopefully we can satisfy you, Kogias. We also have with us tonight the great Rohith Dar. Rohit, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, and I'm glad to be part of what I consider the People's Award Show.
Indeed. This is way better than the People's Choice, I'll tell you that much. Rohit basically is going to be here because he hasn't really been following the Golden Tiki Award season, so he's going to kind of be giving on-the-fly reactions as we get to them. All right, you know what I realized is I need to pull up the doc that has the vote tallies on it, so just give me 1 second to do that. Okay, are we all ready to go? Without further ado.
Ready as we'll ever be.
Okay, let's start things off with most disappointing. Oh, yeah. And you're wrong, PerGron. We did nominate Amelia Perez for something.
You're right, we did. One nomination.
All right, so most disappointing, we have a Joker. We have Amelia Perez. We have The Front Room. And then we have something that it's not a bad movie. I personally thought it could have been better, Saturday Night. Rohit, where are you leaning here?
I think what should win is Amelia Perez. Because I think it's not just the movie that's disappointing, but it's the overall just shitstorm that surrounds this movie.
Yeah.
And I think with how this movie's made, with the specific groups that it focuses on and the lack of input from said groups, it's just a slap in the face. And I hope that for the people involved, including one individual, we all know who it is, that they have better opportunities to showcase the talent and craftsmanship, specifically the likes of Zoe Saldana. But I think in light of her audience skewing male and skewing sort of the superhero or geeky pop culture route, I think it will likely be Joker Folie à Deux. Personally, my most disappointing film is Beetlejuice.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I liked Beetlejuice for what it was. It wasn't a masterpiece by any means. It was messy, but I expected it to be messy. All right, that would have been a solid nomination, though.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Tiki goes to Joker 2.
I know the people.
Yeah, this wasn't really a surprise. It was kind of a runaway. The vote tallies were Joker got 7, Amelia Perez got 3, The Front Room got 1. PerGron, I'm guessing that vote was from you.
I actually voted Perez.
Oh, okay. And then Saturday Night got 0. If I had a vote, which I didn't in any of these because I was the one creating the polls, I would have probably voted Saturday Night, honestly, but I did not have a vote and it did not matter. I did cast myself as the tiebreaker vote in case we had ties, and I got to execute that power exactly 1 time tonight. So we will get there. Yeah, Kogias. I know that you're a fan of Joker. All right, it's fine. It's fine. LAB saying Joker 2, bad movie, a deuce.
Yeah, because the first one's bad too.
Facts, honestly. All right. Moving right along to best ensemble cast. You know what? I'm realizing I don't need the banners, right? Because I've got these cards, so we don't need the banners.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. typed them all out and everything, whatever. Okay, for best ensemble cast, we have juror number 2, which was our wild card pick. We have Anora, A Complete Unknown, and Wicked. What say you, Rohit?
That is tough. I think what should win, I think A Complete Unknown, I think should win because Timothy Chalamet, Monica Barbara, Elle Fanning, Boyd Holbrook, and like freaking Ed Norton. These are
Scoot
some of them
McNairy
are
as well.
really high talented actors that
McNairy in that movie.
What?
I said I keep propping up Scoot McNairy in that movie too.
Yeah, and that just shows the level of talent involved. And I think this is like people will decry or say that music biopics are a dime a dozen. And James Mangold, this is the second one. I think he does a lot to make the cast really embody these characters without necessarily doing a full-on impressions, and that's always hard to do for a lot of historical projects. I think what will win, I think based on how popular the movie is, I think I'm leaning towards Wicked will win based
popular.
I like that pun there, Rohit.
All right, well, we'll see if you're right. The Tiki for best ensemble cast goes to... What do you know? He's right, folks. Wicked. All right, let's see if you can keep it going, Rohit. All right, so Kogias saying I'm hoping that Wicked won. So yeah, Kogias, hopefully that Kogias, you must know that you are in the minority when it comes to Joker. You must know that. Although to be fair, you're with Tarantino, so I'm not going to say Tarantino's good company, but he's esteemed company. All right. Any thoughts on the Wicked win, PerGron or Rohit?
Not a surprise there for me at all. All the performances there are good at minimum. While I do think some of those other movies had...
I'm kind of with Rohit. I think out of the 4 that were nominated, I think A Complete Unknown probably had the best overall cast.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, probably. Overall, Wicked was good, mainly from the 2 leads.
Mm-hmm.
And the side stuff was pretty all right. Jonathan Bailey was fun. Peter Dinklage was
I'm really
fun.
excited for Jonathan Bailey in Jurassic World.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Mm-hmm. Oh, don't get me started on Jurassic World, dude. I literally feel like an abuse victim going back to the abusive boyfriend. I'm literally going to record my reaction to the trailer tomorrow. I mean, it's like I'm hopeless.
There's a trailer tomorrow?
Yes.
I saw the T-Rex. T-Rex looks fucking sick. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm never gonna learn from these fucking movies.
No, I'm with you.
I have faith in Gareth Edwards.
Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
I agree. It's abuse at this point. But I'm hoping, man, the T-Rex looks good.
Yeah.
The T-Rex looks good.
I mean, at the very least, I feel like this movie, just from the very little we've seen of it, looks to be like way more natural lighting and color grading and all that than the Jurassic movies.
Mm-hmm.
Which were basically like, hey, it looks like an Apple store.
AKA the Electric Story.
All right. Anyways, so now we move on to Best Animated Feature.
Best Animated Feature.
All right. And Rohit, there is a little bit of a caveat with this one.
Okay.
In that I'm not going to tell you which one, but one of these movies
had a little bit of a following.
Yeah, it had a little bit of a cult following in the polls. So
until it didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Until they just stopped showing up.
All right, so the nominees for Best Animated Feature are Memoir of a Snake. Oh, and just for Best Ensemble Cast, the voting breakdown for that was Juror number 2 got 1 vote, Anora and A Complete Unknown got 2 votes, and Wicked got 3 votes. So it was actually pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I would have voted for A Complete Unknown, but that would have made it a 2-2 tie. So, okay, so the nominees for Best Animated Feature are Memoir of a Snail, Flow, Inside Out 2, and The Wild Robot. What do you think, Rohit?
I think should win is The Wild Robot, just in terms of the level of artistry. The way that the movie opens with that kind of like camera, like zoom in, and just the overall, like, I don't want to overuse the word artistry. It's just the level of craftsmanship in that movie. There's something pure universal about it, that I think it's a movie that people like 5, 10, 15 years down the line can watch and appreciate. I think in light of continuing the theme of popularity, Inside Out 2 is a movie that was generally well received and also was watched by a lot of people. And I think Pixar is always going to be a animation studio that's going to get a lot of buy-in, especially from people in our audience.
All right. And the Tiki goes to... Oh, God. Memoir of a Snail. Actually.
Oh, that was the... Oh, man.
That was the Colt.
I was thinking it was Flow. That was the Colt, but that's
yeah.
moving. Yeah.
I'm Colt. Sorry. Flow actually did pretty well. I'm not going to tell you what categories it won, but it did pretty well. So I'm actually surprised that it didn't win this. But again, we did have that random following of people who, in the wild card, it was much more obvious. Like in the wild card categories, Snail kind of. There's actually one instance where Snail got so many last minute votes that we kind of disqualified it because it's like, okay, this is like not even fair at this point. You guys are just spamming the polls. But
it's the Andrea Riseborough of the Golden Tikis.
Maybe. All right, so the voting breakdown for this, Memoir of a Snail got 23.
Wow.
The Wild Robot got 16. Flow got 8, and Inside Out 2 only got 5, surprisingly. That
is surprising
to me. And personally, I would have probably gone with Inside Out 2, honestly. PerGron and I kind of disagree on this. I'm not crazy about The Wild Robot. I think it's good. I don't think it's like a masterpiece like a lot of people say. And Flow is very ambitious, but it's not exactly the most rewatchable for me. All right. Anyways, yes, LED, the snail heads have struck.
And then they stopped showing up. Like after this, the cult was gone.
Right.
We got the Brutalist boys, the Wicked girls, and Snail
boys. No, the Challengers boys, Rohit.
Oh man.
Because unlike the Oscars, we actually nominate challengers in this household.
It doesn't win anything, but it gets nominated.
Right.
Lucas Ladino and gay film Twitter salutes you.
All right, next up we have Best Sound. And the nominees are A Complete Unknown, Twisters, Flow, and The Substance. What do you think, Rohit?
I think Should is A Complete Unknown. I think with sort of a lot of music that's played in that movie, it's done like the sound quality of like, the performances and all that stuff with the actors. It's the level that, elevates the movie to a certain degree to where you can really appreciate, oh, this is like, not to say you're almost there, not to say you're exactly there in the performances of Bob Dylan, but it's close enough. I think we'll win. I have a feeling it's The Substance.
Okay. All right. And the Tiki goes to... Well, look at that. The Substance. You're 3 for 1.
Back on a roll.
Honestly, Memoirs of a Snail was kind of a fluke, so we'll see if you get all of them but Memoir of a Snail. Okay, the voting breakdown for this was A Complete Unknown got 0, and honestly, Rohit, I'm with you. That's what I would have voted for. Twisters, which was our early lock, we did locks halfway through the year, and that was the first one we put in. That only got 1 vote. Flow got 3, and The Substance got 6.
All right.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. That was the one that deserved to win it, and the fact the Oscars didn't even shortlist it is bullshit.
Yeah.
The sound in that movie is what makes the movie.
All right. Could you imagine if they didn't nominate it for best makeup though?
That's true, yeah. But they could have done both. They could have left out a Perez.
Oh God, yeah. Facts. Okay. Best, or I'm sorry, most annoying trailer.
Best annoying
Ooh.
trailer is a different category.
This is a fun one. It could be for a trailer that was out this in 2024. It could be for a trailer for a movie that's yet to come out. Let's see. So the nominees are Thunderbolts Asterix. I refuse to say that movie without fully saying the title. Argyle, a Minecraft movie, and Speak No Evil. Rohit?
I think should win is Argyle. I think the way, like, from the insane mind of Matthew Vaughn's, like, I'm going to put a ban in Hollywood from the adjective mind of insert male director. It's just such an annoying, and like it's the most generic, music that you've heard 1,000 times in trailers, and the resulting movie is just so bloated, and the way that the trailer is edited, it just kind of like highlights, is like, oh, here's a famous person in like a weird looking costume, and it just feels like
this trailer drove me absolutely insane, and it was one of those trailers that, like, PerGron had he had Speak No Evil in front of everything. I had Argyle in front of everything. Like everything. It drove me crazy.
Yeah, but I think will win will be Minecraft.
Okay. And the Tiki goes to Speak No Evil.
They're all with me. That shit was bullshit.
This is very situational, because I literally did not see the trailer one time in my theater. It must be like a theater chain thing.
It must be, but good Lord, even if you watch that trailer now, it's an annoying ass trailer. It gives away everything. It gives away the entire movie. It's like a 3-minute fucking trailer.
I guess that is annoying, and it's in that respect. For me, when I think of annoying trailer, I think of trailer that's just, oh, here's the memey moments, or here's the new. So I totally get, like, the Speak No Evil trailer in terms of just reading the plot is bad, but I think it just never got like angry or just have too many eye rolls for that as compared to
Argyle. The moment that really annoyed the fuck out of me every time was when the cat falls out of the window and then he bounces on the trampoline or whatever.
And it's so badly done CGI.
Yeah, and then he comes back up at the camera. And that was annoying specifically because no matter what theater I was in, no matter who the audience was, there would always be some dumb motherfucker in the audience who was like, cat. I'm like, oh my God, you people have the... It still pisses me off.
This is our country.
Okay, the voting breakdown on this: Thunderbolts and Argyle both only got one apiece, which is a little. I mean, for Argyle, I'm kind of surprised.
I think part of it's because how many people watch Argyle.
True. You were close on a Minecraft movie, Rohit. It got 5, and Speak No Evil got 7.
Oh,
so
man.
you were in the ballpark there. All right.
I think the issue is Speak No Evil was a movie that was in front of everything, gave the whole trailer away, and nobody saw the movie. And then the Minecraft movie, Minecraft's just such a popular game that people are going to put up with whatever bullshit. And everybody loves Jack Black, even though he's lost a lot of goodwill.
I was going to say, not everybody now.
He has lost a lot of goodwill with me this last year.
I think he's lost a lot of goodwill with a good chunk of folks, honestly.
But unfortunately, your normie, casual audience, they see the sheep bleat and they go, oh
my God.
So, yeah. And the second trailer is not as bad, even though the movie still looks like shit. So.
Yeah. I think next year we have to put in contention Companion, just because it spoils the whole damn thing. All right. Okay, so next is Best Year. This is a new category, and this is essentially going to the person who had the best body of work throughout the year. All right. Kogia says he was the person that voted for Thunderbolts Asterix. Yeah, that trailer just annoys me just because I am really not into Alexis will like, oh, I am dumb German guy. I like honestly his
Russian.
Sorry, sorry.
Wrong side of World War II, Tiki.
Okay, yeah, but Alexis' bits in that trailer are like 2 levels removed from like fucking Yakov Smirnov. Honestly, honestly,
I think it inspired the new marketing campaign crossover with Marvel.
Oh yeah, so fulfilled.
I mean, I agree. It's a little annoying, but I actually think the trailer looks all right. I don't mind that one.
Low-key, I'm like very cautiously optimistic for Thunderbolts Asterix, just because I don't really think Marvel has missed with a team-up movie except for like Eternals, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, I said best year. The nominees for best year are Dan Stevens. We also had a studio in the mix. We had Neon Pictures. We have Pedro Pascal. And we have Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, I got the movies they had, so let's just go over those.
Okay, go ahead.
So Dan Stevens was nominated for his work in Abigail, Cuckoo, and Godzilla, Kong, and the New Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Neon had the movies Origin, Self-Reliance, Immaculate, Longlegs, Cuckoo, Honora, The Seed of the Sacred Fig.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro Pascal had Drive Away Dolls, Gladiator 2, and The Wild Robot. And Willem Dafoe had Beetlejuice, Kinds of Kindness, Nosferatu, and Saturday Night.
All right, what are you thinking, Rohit?
I think you can make an argument, and for should win, I would say Neon Pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the fact that horror, a lot of the horror movies that come out from Neon Pictures, as well as Nora and The Seed of Sacred Fig, 2 movies that have gotten really great critical acclaim. I think now, and I hope for audiences and wannabe cinephiles, we can expand upon, the good auteur artsy movie is not just A24 or bust.
I think Neon Pictures kind of like eclipsed A24 this year, honestly.
Mm-hmm. But I think we'll win because of our audience in terms of our actors' prior history in the comic book space, as well as horror. Willem Dafoe.
All right. Okay. And the Tiki goes to... I don't know why I'm like pretending to read it. Like I don't know what it is. Pedro Pascal.
Oh, damn.
Which honestly, I'm kind of disagreeing with this one a little bit, just because like 2 out of the I haven't seen Gladiator 2. I don't know how much of a big role he has in that one.
He's pretty big, and he was not the best role in it, but probably the second best.
I mean, he just has a cameo in Drive Away Dolls, though. I mean, he was great in The Wild Robot. Voting breakdown here: Dan Stevens got 0, which I kind of disagree with. I mean, I think Dan Stevens had a great year.
Yeah, Cuckoo and Abigail is. I mean, even Godzilla Kong, like he was the best part of that movie.
He was easily the best part of it.
Like I love when he goes to get the monkey glove, and and he just gets it, and there it is. I loved him in Abigail. I thought he was probably my favorite part of that movie, and he was my favorite part of Cuckoo. So, like, I definitely think he should have gotten.
He's what we call in the biz the Scream King.
Yeah. Neon got 2. Mm-hmm. Willem Dafoe got 4, and then Pedro Pascal got 5. So it was very close. Yeah, you were right on the money there.
I was one of the Neon ones.
I think out of the 2, I would honestly give it to Dafoe over Pedro Pascal, just because I feel like the movies he was in were more relevant. Like I didn't love Saturday Night, but he was definitely one of the best parts of it. He was great in Nosferatu. Definitely a highlight of Kinds of Kindness. So, yeah.
I'm honestly surprised about Willem Dafoe losing out. I mean, it was a close one, but I figured for this audience, being into horror and all that stuff, I figured Willem Dafoe would just take it in the bag with Nosferatu alone. Yeah.
Well, we will see. All right, moving on. We have... We have Best Cinematography. Pretty straightforward category here.
Mm-hmm.
The nominees are Nosferatu, Dune Part 2, Challengers, and Flow.
I think both my should win and will win is the same answer, which is Lisan Al Gaib, Dune Part 2. I think the level of craftsmanship, the scale of the second movie is compared to the first one, and just the ambiance of just, you know, looking out in the desert and just seeing the level of heat and the opening scene with the
Yeah.
Harkonnen just blowing up. That's just cinematic cocaine right
The
there.
worm riding scene, the
Yes.
black and white fireworks. Yeah. The Tiki goes to Flow, actually, which
Man.
this is not one I necessarily agree with. I think the cinematography for an animated movie is good, but like it's not actual camera work. It's animation. It's kind of a little bit of a workaround here. But the voting was very close in this one. Nosferatu got 0, which I was kind of surprised by.
Yeah.
Doom Part 2 and Challengers would have been my vote easily. I love Doom Part 2, but Challengers was my number 1 of the year. And a big part of that was the cinematography. I mean, some of those shots are just going to stay with me for the rest of my life, I think. So Doom Part 2 and Challengers both got 2, and then Flow got 3. So once again, kind of a eeping it out a little bit. All right, PerGron, any thoughts on your end?
No, I voted Dune. So, like, I love Flow. I'm on record saying I love Flow. But yeah, Dune cinematography. Like, come on. I don't want to say it, but I have an observation about Dune Part 2 for later.
Okay. All right, next up we get to, this was based on the votes. I will just tease this up right now. The voting was super close between 3 people. It was a 3-way tie that I had to break. And because of that reason alone, and because of how fun this category is, just in general, this was my favorite category of the whole year. We have the weirdest little creep award.
Tiki, get it right. It's the Barry Keoghan honorary.
Okay, you know what? I got too ambitious with like naming certain awards after 3 people. I'm just like, fuck it. We're just gonna go with the baselines.
Do you think Sabrina Carpenter voted in this category?
What now?
Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, no. She was not part of naming the category.
No, voting in the category, but
voting in it. Yeah, Barry Keoghan didn't get a nomination this year, but he should have for how he treated Sabrina Carpenter.
Okay, that went right over my head. I don't follow tabloid stuff like that. Okay, the nominees for Weirdest Little Creep go to Dennis Quaid in The Substance, SpongeBob SquarePants, aka Ethan Klein, for
Ethan Slater.
Ethan Slater, different Ethan.
Ethan Klein's a weird little creep, but
he is. Ethan Slater, aka SpongeBob SquarePants, in Wicked. I cannot look at that man and not think SpongeBob. I'm sorry. Nicolas Cage in Longlegs, and Shia LaBeouf in Megalopolis, the only nomination that Megalopolis received this evening. Rohith?
I think should win is Dennis Quaid in The Substance. I think just what he represents that movie, and just the overall vibe, especially just him eating. That performance stays with you in the creep level factor. But I think we'll win just by name recognition, and I think not that Longlegs was viewed by more people, but I feel like Longlegs may have a little bit of like a upswing to it. So I'm gonna say we'll win will be Nicolas Cage.
Okay. And the Tiki goes to SpongeBob.
Ah, damn.
And this was, like I said, this was my fault. It was a 3-way tie.
Oh, I should have thought more about that. Yeah. Ooh.
But Rohith, Nicolas Cage was the one who wasn't in the 3-way tie. So you were off on this one. The 3-way tie was between Dennis Quaid, SpongeBob, and Shia LaBeouf, who each got 6. Nicolas Cage only got 1 vote. And
That's
so
crazy.
with me breaking the tie, I had to give it to SpongeBob. Honestly, mostly because like that dude's a homewrecker, and it's weird to watch that movie in that context. He's like the tallest person in the cast, and he's supposed to be playing a munchkin. And again, I cannot get the SpongeBob out of my head when it comes to his performance. So just weird little creep all around. So maybe I should have voted for Dennis Quaid. Like honestly, probably Dennis Quaid's going to be the more memorable weird little creep of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But I just found it funny to give it to SpongeBob.
I'm just glad Shia got some love there.
Yeah.
That performance for me, Megalopolis is trash, but it's the kind of trash in like Jersey Shore type trash. It's the type of trash I eat the fuck up. And he was the best part. He was the most insane person, and I'm glad the audience rode with me to a tie for Shia LaBeouf.
Indeed. All right, next up, pretty straightforward one. We got Best Cameo.
Mm-hmm.
The nominees here are Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth for Wicked, Channing Tatum for Deadpool and Wolverine, Snoop Dogg in Piece by Piece, and Kendrick Lamar in Piece by Piece.
Tiki and I went a little hard on Piece by Piece this year.
Just in this category.
I will say should and will win. I think personally, Channing Tatum just had a lot of fun as Gambit. And, for whatever issues people have with the movie, I can totally understand it. I think Channing Tatum is one of the more, there's no downsides to his cameo and his performance. I think he's just a level of chaos that is appreciated in the movie.
All right. And the Golden Tiki goes to Idina Menzel, Kristen Chenoweth.
Damn.
The wickedly talented
God.
Adele Dazeem.
Can't stop the Wicked. I think if any movie did have a cult following in the voting, it probably was Wicked.
It just has a cult following.
True. Breakdown on this one. Menzel and Chenoweth got 8. Channing Tatum got 6. So it was close. I'm honestly surprised Channing Tatum didn't come out ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kendrick only got 1. Snoop Dogg got 3. Kind of unsurprised that the Piece by Piece guys didn't get much love, but I love them. All right.
I'll still never not laugh at PG Spray. That's the funniest joke in a movie this year.
Right. Okay, next up, another straightforward one. Best Visual Effects. Okay, for Best Visual Effects, the nominees are Hundreds of Beavers, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Dune Part 2, and The Substance.
I think for me, should win goes to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I think the level of CGI craftsmanship and having these apes be able to emote, but not in a way that's unsettling, and just the overall texture of the world is immaculate. Will win is hard because it's I think you can make arguments for Substance, Dune 2, but I feel like Hundreds of Beavers is going to be come out ahead. I am going to go with The Substance.
All right. And the Tiki goes to Hundreds.
I feel like Hundreds of Beaver. I should have just gone with that. That felt like a movie that's going to come out ahead.
Yeah. I'm very happy for Hundreds of Beavers winning here. I think definitely not the highest budget visual effects, but for the budget they did have and the craftsmanship on display, I think that movie looks absolutely phenomenal. Voting breakdown here. It was close between two. Hundreds of Beavers got 11. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes got 9. And then it falls off. We have Dune Part 2 getting 4. And The Substance only got 1 vote, actually, surprisingly. All right. PerGron, any thoughts?
I was an Apes boy, but I can't argue with the people. The beavers are pretty sick.
All right. Okay, moving right along, we got Best Production Design. The nominees are Nosferatu, Memoir of a Snail, Wicked, and Hundreds of Beavers.
Oh man, this is tough. I would say should win is Nosferatu. I think Robert Eggers does such a great job in period settings, and this film just is full on gothic horror in its pure peak. But I think for will win, I go with I'm between Wicked and Hundreds of Beavers.
Never doubt yourself, Rohit.
You started off so well.
I know it's. This is gonna be. I'm gonna go Hundreds of Beavers, but I feel like I'm gonna regret that choice.
Okay. And the Tiki goes to Hundreds
Wow,
of
huzzah!
Beavers. Hundreds of Beavers was the original nominee in this category from halfway through the year, and it came out on top.
Is that the only one?
What, from the original nominee?
Yeah, is that the only one from the halfway that won?
Maybe. I haven't really been keeping track of that.
I think it is.
You might be right. I'm thrilled that Hundreds of Beavers won for visual effects and production design. That's something that the Oscars would never do. That's honestly one of the, like, we joke about this award show being like the most legitimate one, but honestly, like, I think stuff like this, moments like this, kind of prove that there is some legitimacy to what we do here, because Hundreds of Beavers is an awesome movie. It deserves to be celebrated, but it's so low key of a movie that the Oscars wouldn't touch it, but we're touching it. We got our fingerprints all over it. All right.
So it's not. I just looked it up. We have 3 that the midway won, and it's actually the 3 that I would have expected.
Any that we've gotten to so far?
No.
No.
Nope, that's the first one.
All right. Okay, up next, one of my favorite categories, we got Best Villain. Wait, did I say I'll do the voting breakdown on production design really quick. We have Hundreds of Beavers kind of ran away with this one. It got 20 votes, and the next closest vote was Wicked at 10 votes. And then Memoir of a Snail and Nosferatu only picked up 1 apiece. So yeah, the Memoir of a Snail cult just kind of died.
The snail cult fell off and the beaver cult started.
Right, a little bit, yeah. All right. Okay, so yeah, Best Villain. Our nominees are Count Orlok from Nosferatu. Dr. Dementis from Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Fade Ratha Harkonnen from Dune Part 2. And Proximus Motherfucking Caesar from Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Rohith.
I think should win. I would think I would want to go to Fade Rotha in my head, but in my heart, I'm Proximus Caesar, motherfucker. That man has so much swagger, so much aura. And this is like Kevin Durant is an actor that's been a working actor for so long. And he
was in contention for best year this year. He was a wild card pick.
Yeah, and honestly, it's like seeing his performance, it's like, man, I wish Kevin Durant just did more voice acting stuff because he just nails it. I think for will win, I'm going with Count Orlok from Nosferatu.
Okay. And the Tiki goes to Proximus Motherfucking Caesar.
Oh my God.
What a wonderful day.
Yeah, Rohit, the Nosferatu people are not showing up as much as you thought they would. The Orlok got 3 votes. Mm-hmm. Dementis only got 1 vote, and Dementis would have been my vote. Honestly, I think Dementis kind of stole that whole movie from the title character. Fade Rafa only got 2, which is just
insane.
PerGron, do you want to say your piece about Dune now, or are you waiting?
I'm gonna wait a little further.
Okay. And
But
then yeah,
but yeah,
Proximus got 7.
what a wonderful day.
So
And
definitely
Proximus,
deserved. I mean, I think all 4 of these guys are great villains in their own right.
yeah, I would have been happy with any of these.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Proximus is the second of 3 mid-year
Okay.
picks.
Cool.
So we have one more.
Okay. Next up, we have another one of my favorites. This is a personal category to me because I feel like best ending. I feel like endings make or break movies for me. I feel like an ending for a long time has been like one of the most important things that a movie. If a movie sticks to landing on an ending, that's one of the most important things a movie can do for me. So with that in mind, we have the nominees for best ending: Anora, Challengers, I Saw the TV Glow, and Memoir of a Snail.
The funny thing is that Challengers, I like the movie everything up until the ending. So I'm kind of conflicted whether it's like a.
Hard to disagree there, sir. I love the ending of Challengers.
I felt like the ending had borrowed a bit from the Graduates ending. I would have been like, oh, that's great. I will say I think just the lead up to the ending is good. So I think Challenger should win. But man, what are the? Can you give me the other nominees?
Yeah, sure. It's Anora, I Saw the TV Glow, and Memoir of a Snail.
I feel like the Memoir of a Snail crowd has kind of died out, and I'm kind of going for a wild card. I Saw the TV Glow.
Okay. And the Tiki goes to Anora.
Oh man.
So this was actually a surprise for me. Anora definitely picking up at the Oscars. Not a super popular pick at the Golden Tikis, but I think
this is the only one it took.
Well, don't tell him that, motherfucker.
I don't think we nominated it for anything else.
Mikey Madison, dude.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, there you go.
Fucking ruin that. Thanks.
I don't think he would have picked it anyways, his guess.
I'm just saying. We got a process going here. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, Challengers is like that ending is one of the big reasons why I love it as much as I do. But Anora, I think, would definitely be my second choice. I Saw the TV Glow as a very worthy choice as well. I put Memoir of a Snail up there just because it's a very cathartic, feel-good ending that's on top of a very kind of depressing movie. So it's kind of like a Dawn Blue kind of light at the end of the tunnel kind of ending.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get my breakdowns for villain, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. Okay, just making sure. But yeah, I'm very happy that Anora took this because I think Anora's ending is very powerful. And it does kind of make the movie in certain respects. So this is a well-deserved win for me. Voting breakdown, Anora got 10, so it honestly kind of cleaned up. Challengers only got 1, which is kind of crazy to me. But I mean, Challengers just all around, just kind of like we did nominate it, but yeah, it didn't do great as far as wins go. I Saw the TV Glow got 4, so that was the runner up, and then Memoir of a Snail got 2.
What I expect, I Saw the TV Glow to be the runner up in any category, so I'm glad to be on the money for a wild card pick.
For sure. Okay, next up we have best score. Yeah.
And unlike the Oscars, we don't say best original score and then put fucking Wicked in it.
Oh my god, dude. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, while not nominating Challengers, and while also nominating Emilia Perez, while still not nominating Challengers.
And disqualifying Dune.
Yeah, that category's been a train wreck for a couple of years now, honestly. Fucking last year it was John Williams for Indiana Jones.
It's okay. Best original song had to get Diane Warren in there too. So.
All right. So best score, the nominees are Flow, The Wild Robot, Dune Part 2, and Challengers.
I'm gonna go for should win to Challengers. I think Trent Reznor just fucking kills it in this movie, and it's what makes that movie sing so well.
Hmm.
I think Will Win is gonna probably be Dune Part 2.
Okay. Optimistic about Dune. Let's see if that pays off. The golden tiki goes to Flo.
Damn, that cat movie has so much.
It's cleaning up. PerGron really gassed up Flo during the nomination process. So that
I
might
did.
help.
I got the flow cult behind me.
Man, we got snails, we got beavers, we got cats.
The animals were the animals in water specifically were big this year.
Right.
Semi-aquatic by purpose or accident animals were big this year.
Okay, voting breakdown. Flo got 5. The Wild Robot was close behind at 4, and that also got into the Oscar race, which I was very happy about. Doom got 3, and Challengers only got 1, which, once again, what the fuck? Did you guys even listen to the Challenger score?
Nah, your fan base hates the fucking Challengers.
Apparently,
How many did it miss out on in the wild card round? Like they just kept not putting it through.
Did get Best Picture, yeah. All right, voting breakdown. I already gave the voting breakdown. All right, moving right along. We're making pretty good time here.
World's shortest award show.
Right. We got Best Needle Drop. All right, this is a fun one. So the nominees here are MacArthur Park from Beetlejuice, Blowing in the Wind from A Complete Unknown, Get Lucky from Piece by Piece, and Like a Prayer from Deadpool and Wolverine.
I think should win is Blowing in the Wind. I think in terms of obviously it being a music biopic, like you better have a great needle drop, and I think it does really well. But I think we'll win in terms of just how often the song has been used in like every TikTok edit or just any edit on like shorts on YouTube. I think Will Win is Living Prayer.
Okay. And the golden tiki goes to... Look at that. He got another one, folks. Like a Prayer. Which, PerGron, I believe that was the third first round.
That is the third.
Yeah. All right, voting breakdown for this one went Like a Prayer, 7. Get Lucky got 5. Blowing in the Wind got 3. And MacArthur Park only got 1, which honestly I'm surprised by. Like, I didn't love Beetlejuice, but I did love that scene. And when I first saw that movie, I was like, oh, that's going to be a hard one to beat when it comes to needle drop. So I'm surprised it kind of underperformed there.
It's wild because it carried the wild card.
True. Yeah.
Like it swept that pretty handedly.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, very surprising result there. All right. Next up, we're pretty much at the above the line stuff. This is not a category at the Oscars, but it very much should be. Best voiceover performance. The nominees are Pedro Pascal for The Wild Robot, Sarah Snook for Memoir of a Snail, Maya Hawke for Inside Out 2, and Bill Skarsgård for Nosferatu.
I think should win is Bill Skarsgård for Nosferatu. I think just the overall, transformation he has and playing this kind of character that's, predatory but romantic is it's just a fine balance. I think it leads credence to Bill Skarsgård being an actually good actor. But I think we'll win. I'm going to go with Pedro Pascal for The Wild Robot.
You would think Pedro Pascal would have this in the bag because he did win Best Year, but the Golden Tiki did in fact go to, you should have stuck with your gut, Rohith.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. And not only that, but this was by far the biggest runaway of the entire award show. Skarsgård got 26 votes. Maya Hawke, the second place here, which would have been my personal pick, got 4. Pedro Pascal got 3. And Memoir of a Snail cult, Sarah Snook, big fat 0. The cult was just like, nah, we're out.
Man, the Nosferatu crowd didn't show up except for this category.
I know.
Funny because
Yeah.
Orlok took this one with more votes than Best Picture got in total.
That's funny. That's funny.
People are really horny for Orlok.
Yeah,
And he's really horny for them.
I mean, I think it's a little bit of an unconventional nomination. Like, I'm not like this. I wouldn't disqualify it or anything, but like, a lot of it is off screen with the dialogue, and the voice performance he does give is very creepy. But like, it's not exactly what you'd first think of when you think of like a voiceover performance, you know. So, this is a surprise, and I'm especially surprised with how much of a runaway it was. Like I said, my personal pick would have definitely been Maya Hawke. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Anxiety is probably on my personal Mount Rushmore of Pixar characters. So yeah, I think she did a lot with that role. Okay, next up, we're officially in the above the line stuff. Screenplay, not adapted or original, just screenplay. All right, the nominees for best screenplay, we have Flow, Conclave, My Old Ass, and Dee.
So personally, should win is Conclave, and I think the way it's that script, characterizes the competing cardinals and the overall feeling of trying to do God's work, but not knowing how that's really implemented among the competing human interests of humanity is just really well done stuff. And I think the monologues that are in that movie, when characters are giving speeches, it's so well done. But I think will win. Name me the first two nominees.
It's Flow, My Old Ass, and Dee are the other three.
I'm gonna go with Flow for will win.
Okay. And the Tiki goes to... You were right.
Look at him. He's picking up on patterns.
I appreciate Dee being nominated. Dee is a movie that, for anyone that, isn't from the Bay Area, that movie reminded me so much of I didn't personally go through all the experiences that the main character did in Dee, but it reminded me so much of like my friends and just people in that time period.
I believe, PerGron, correct me if I'm wrong, Dee was our original nomination.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. All right. The voting breakdown for this was Dee got 3, Conclave got 2, My Old Ass got 1. My Old Ass, Rohith, I'm not sure if you've had a chance to see that one. I'd highly recommend it. That would have been my personal pick. That one has like the monologue of the year for me. PerGron knows which one I'm talking about. It absolutely knocked me off my feet. And then Flo kind of ran away with it with 11. PerGron, what are your thoughts on this? Because I got to tell you, I'm not entirely stoked about this one, considering there's literally no dialogue. Like, the sequence of events is well put together, but
that's why I nominated it.
Yeah.
I nominated. Yep.
Okay.
I mean, do I think it deserved to win? Yes. Am I surprised it won? Yes.
Okay.
I think if we were going to pick based on dialogue, absolutely. I think I would have gone My Old Ass, I think. But yeah, I think a screenplay can be more than dialogue. It can be sequence of events, and I love that fucking cat. So I am content with this.
All right. Okay, next up, Best Director. Moving into the big boys now. Best Director, we got Mike Cheslick for Hundreds of Beavers. We got Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2. We got Robert Eggman Eggers for Nosferatu. And we got Corley Farjat, which I believe is the correct pronunciation, PerGron.
Yeah, I think it's Farjat or Farjat.
Yeah.
I've heard Farjo. I've heard
Farjay.
Yeah, I think it's Farja or Farjat.
Okay. Rohith, Corley Farjat for the substance.
All right. Should win. I think it's Denis Villeneuve. It's a crime that he gets snubbed for both of these movies, especially part 2.
Absolutely ridiculous. What more does the man need to fucking do?
He pissed someone off.
Right.
He pissed somebody off.
Somebody watched Incendies and did not like how the ending was.
David Lynch on his way out said, "No way, this guy makes a better Dune movie than me."
Oh, God.
No, it's actually the person who made the TV miniseries. That's the person who has it out for. But I think will win is Hundreds of Beavers.
Okay, Mike Cheslick. All right. And the Tiki goes to Corley Farjat.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. The Substance kind of showing up strong. PerGron, I'm assuming you're happy about this.
I'm stoked. My number 1 of the year. I'm happy that, like, I really didn't think it was going to take very much because your audience just, I wouldn't have suspected that this audience had a big The Substance
We did do
overlap
the podcast on it, which probably
we did.
helped.
Yep. But it's one of those movies that I was stoked to see it show up at the Oscars, and I'm stoked to see it start winning stuff here.
All right, voting breakdown here. Edgar's got 3. Denis only got fucking 2, which is ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous. Mike Cheslick, I was glad to see some people showed up for him. He got 4. And then Corley Farjat got 6. So it was relatively close between Cheslick and Farjat.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, Best Supporting Actress. I believe this is the one out of all the categories, weirdly enough, this was the one that got the least votes, period. So take that for what you will when I go through the nominees. The nominees here are Joan Chen for Dee Dee, Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, Aubrey Plaza for My Old Ass, and Rebecca Ferguson for Dune Part 2.
Should and will win are both the same for me. Rebecca Ferguson is just a tour de force in that movie, especially when she becomes sort of a leading priestess figure among the Fremen, and just the absolute bonkers level of acting that she goes through. I think it's a crime that she wasn't nominated for an Oscar for performance for Dune Part 2.
All right. And the Tiki goes to my personal pick, Aubrey Plaza. I am very happy with this win, actually. I agree that I think Ferguson definitely would have been my second choice. Joan Chen, man, when I saw Dee Dee, I was like, this lady's got to be like a lock for the Oscars, right? Like, this is a hell of a performance. I think it's a shame that she fell off. Barbaro's really good too. Barbaro, I think, is probably, she got into the Oscars, I think, more based on her singing. Not that her acting isn't good. Her acting is good, but her singing is phenomenal in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But Aubrey Plaza, I'm very, very happy with this win. I'm super happy for Aubrey Plaza here. Aquatad, you do not have to apologize for voting for Hundreds of Beavers in every category it was eligible for. That's totally fine. Aubrey Plaza has the scene of the year that made me the most emotional. It happens towards the end of that movie. Rohith, especially if you like Dee Dee. Like, I think Dee Dee is a great coming-of-age movie. I think My Old Ass is a coming-of-age masterpiece. That's how I would kind of describe it. It's kind of a tour de force as far as coming-of-age movies go. And then also Aubrey Plaza, one of the main reasons why I'm very happy for her here is that her husband actually just very recently passed away. And I don't want to get into exact details, but let's just say the scene that made me super emotional kind of relates to that in a weird art imitating life kind of way. Right, PerGron?
Life or art predetermining life.
Yeah. So I'm very, very happy for Aubrey Plaza here. I think the win was well deserved, and My Old Ass is a movie that I kind of thought was just going to get nothing as much as I loved it. It was my number 4 of the year, right behind A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, and Challengers. So very happy to see my old ass take away at least something here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, we got Best Supporting Actor. We've got this was my pet nomination of the whole award season. Doug Manchesky for Hundreds of Beavers, the shopkeeper from Hundreds of Beavers. I think this man, with his silent performance, just absolutely stole the show. Also, have I gone over the counts
For best actress?
Actor? I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so for supporting actress, like I said, this got the least number of votes out of any category. So it was Joan Chang got 0, which is a shame. Barbaro got 1, Ferguson got 2, and Aubrey Plaza barely squeaking it out with 3. All right, so yeah, Doug Manchesky, as I said, kind of stole the show with his silent performance. I think he's by far the most consistently funny part of that movie. I think the movie just gets it's really good before he shows up, but it becomes a masterpiece when he shows up. We have Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown. Ooh, he's such a bad man, isn't he, PerGron?
You stop. You leave him alone.
He's such a bad man.
Pete Seeger's never done anything wrong.
Rohith, for the record, I nominated Edward Norton Pete Seeger in A Complete Unknown for best villain in the wild card race. He is technically the antagonist of that movie.
Oh man,
he's like the nicest villain ever, but he's technically the guy who's the most against our main hero.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown. We got Javier Bardem in Dune Part 2, which, by the way, is a performance that absolutely should have gotten more love across the board in award season. I think it's fucking ridiculous that he just got basically completely passed over. I really think out of all the performances in Dune Part 2, he really does do the most to carry the emotional arc of that whole movie. Yeah, sure, Timothée Chalamet is great and he does transform, but you see that transformation through the eyes of Bardem. So I think it's a shame that he did not really get much of anything this award season. Yeah. And then lastly, we have Willem Dafoe for Nosferatu. So just one more time, we have Doug Manchesky, Hundreds of Beavers, Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown, Bardem for Dune Part 2, and Willem Dafoe for Nosferatu.
So should win, I'm going with Javier Bardem. I totally agree with you, Tiki, in regards to his performance. I think if there was a class where
it's a meme and it shouldn't be
it's a meme, but in real sense, if you were to analyze his performance and discuss in the context of religiosity and how does one get into sort of the idea of worship, his performance feeds into the thematics of Dune about the worship of false idols.
A haunting performance, and I think it pisses me off that people are just reducing it to a meme. It really bothers me.
Yeah, I think will win is the shopkeeper from Hundreds of Beavers.
Rohith, I wish you were right about that, man. Yeah. I wish you were right about that, dude. The Golden Tiki goes to Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, the one time when I don't go Willem Dafoe,
I know.
This one felt like the popularity contest.
This one is a little bit of a popularity contest for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's great in Nosferatu. Mm-hmm. Honestly, out of the supporting performances in Nosferatu, I think he might be I don't want to say the weakest, but maybe the most predictable, where it's yeah, he's Willem Dafoe. He's showing up. He's doing his thing. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think Ralph Ineson in that movie had some real Alan Rickman energy to him that I found kind of captivating. Obviously, Bill Skarsgård also won for Best Voiceover, of course. Mm-hmm. And fuck me, man. Aaron Taylor Johnson, he might not have had as good of a performance as Willem Dafoe, but he surprised me with how genuinely good he was. I have been one of the most outspoken critics of Aaron Taylor Johnson. I genuinely did like him in Nosferatu. So, yeah. Voting breakdown here. It was close across the board, honestly. Manchesky did only get 2 for Hundreds of Beavers, unfortunately. Edward Norton and Bardem tie at 3 apiece. And then Willem Dafoe pulls slightly ahead with 5 votes there. So that's how that broke down. All right. Next up, we have one of the closest categories, like across the board. This one was kind of came down to the wire. And honestly, the actual victory, I will say, PerGron, I'm not sure if you caught this. The actual victory literally pulled ahead in the last hour or so.
Yeah, I didn't see it happen. So when you sent me the list this afternoon, I'm like, oh, shit.
Right.
That's not what it was when I last looked.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So best actress. And PerGron, just for the record, or Rohith, I'm sorry. Just for the record, we double nominated 2 performances. We double nominated the Challengers Boys, so Mike Feist and Josh O'Connor for Challengers and Best Actor, and then the Wicked Gals, Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth for Best Actress.
Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande.
What did I say?
You said Chenoweth and Idina.
Oh my God! Oh,
Tiki's sitting here watching the original Broadway production.
OG Wicked fan, I am, right?
This is the Tiki flub right there.
Tiki's been in this shit.
I have. You're right. Okay. So the nominees are the Wicked Gals, Demi Moore for The Substance, Mikey Madison for Honora, and Lily Rose Depp for Nosferatu.
And this is a 3-horse race, Rohith, because I gave you the answer.
Yeah. I think should win is Demi Moore, like with what she's, I think maybe some people say it's better of a cheat because a lot of what Demi Moore brings is like from her personal life, but, she's on there really selling sort of this notion of, this unquenchable desire for beauty and love for one's beauty and the destruction that comes from it. I think will win is okay. There's the Wicked Girls, Demi Moore, and then
Mikey Madison
and Lily Rose Depp.
I'm gonna go. Will win to the Wicked Girls.
All right. Kogias says he's rooting for the Wicked actresses. And the Tiki goes to Lily Rose Depp. Another.
Oh man, I had a suspicion of like, could it be? Man, the Nosferatu people showing above the line.
Yeah. Nosferatu did kind of clean up above the line for sure.
Oh.
So the voting breakdown, like I said, it was close. The Wicked Gals only got 3, which honestly, I'm surprised. If you would have asked me before this poll went up, I would have thought they wouldn't only have won. I would have thought they would have run away with it. So I was surprised that they ultimately did end up coming in last place. Demi Moore and Mikey Madison both got 4 apiece. And then Lily Rose Depp, literally at the last minute, squeaks by with 5 votes. So that was one of the closest categories.
Okay.
So yeah, very interesting to track that. All right. Next up, we got Best Actor. The nominees are the Challengers Boys. That would be Mike Feist and Josh O'Connor. Hugh Grant in Heretic. Kieran Culkin for his lead performance in A Real Pain. I don't give a shit what the Oscars say. He literally starts the movie and ends the movie. He's off screen for maybe like 5 minutes in the whole thing. And then Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown.
I think should win goes to the Challenger Boys. I think as much as people rave about Zendaya, and Zendaya is good in the movie, but really the heart of the movie is the relationship between Art and
Patrick.
And
those 2 very straight boys.
Oh yeah,
So straight.
The level of
gay, bro.
That is the kind of chemistry you can only see in a Luca Guadagnino movie. And I think with how the movie ends, if you didn't buy into their relationship, their rivalry, their chemistry, the movie wouldn't work. I think will win will be, what was the third nominee?
Let's see. We have Challengers Boys, Hugh Grant for Heretic, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Timothy Chalamet for a complete unknown.
I'm gonna go with Hugh Grant, Heretic.
Ooh, okay. And the Tiki goes to... Look at that. We don't believe in category fraud at the Golden Tikis. It's Kieran Culkin.
Woo!
I'm surprised that anyone like watch. I will in defense of the Oscars. I do think that, in my view, and having watched the movie recently, while yes, it begins and ends, I feel like we're really viewing Kieran Culkin's character through the eyes of Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh my God, PerGron. Should we just kick him out right now?
Yeah, bye, Rohit. We don't defend the Academy here. We make fun of them for being wrong.
All right. And we're going to get this shit done in under an hour and a half, folks. Yeah.
Nope, we're not, because here comes Jimmy Kimmel and a band of dancing mimes to perform the greatest hits from Amelia Perez.
I could do some Bob Dylan karaoke if y'all want. Come gather and people wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown and accept it. All right, I'm done.
That started off Eric Cartman.
I know, it did totally.
I'm like, it got Bob Dylan at the end there, but that was very Eric Cartman at the start.
Oh my God. Next time I do Bob Dylan karaoke, I should just do the whole thing as Eric Cartman. I've done Eric Cartman karaoke before because I did what would Brian Boitano do?
So what was the
Hey, what is Peter part of me? It has spent in my vocabulary. All right, anyways. The breakdown on the actors, we have the Challengers boys and Hugh Grant got one apiece. Timmy Shales only got one, which is kind of surprising. That would have been my personal pick, and I am rooting for him to win the Oscar over Adrian Brody. And Kieran Culkin got 5. So Culkin kind of ran away with it, honestly.
Hot take. Well, I appreciate Kieran Culkin's performance in Real Pain. I do think Jesse Eisenberg is just a tad better.
All right, bye-bye. Bye, Rohit. Thanks for joining us. Get the fuck out.
All right, no. Did no Aquatad Hundreds of Beavers not get nominated for anything at the Oscars, which I am not surprised by.
Did it get anything at Indie Spirits? I'm gonna look that up.
I don't know off the top of my head. Can you look that up?
Yeah.
I will say though that with Hundreds of Beavers, there is that weird caveat that it was technically released in a couple festivals, like small festivals in 2023, and then got a wide release in 2024. Really, it was out as early as 2022.
Yeah. It won several awards, including Best Director at the 2023 Oxford Film Festival.
Okay.
Has been nominated for awards at Chicago Film Critics Awards and International Film Festival of Catalonia. So the big boys.
So Chicagoans and the people that are having uneasy relationship with Spain like this movie.
We support you, Catalonia, and your love for Hundreds of Beavers.
Oh my God.
That's our political stance.
And finally, the big one, the big dog.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Best Picture. The nominees are
Weird.
Dune Part 2, Hundreds of Beavers, The Substance, and Nosferatu.
I think of the 4, should win goes to Dune Part 2. I think it is a masterpiece in terms of sci-fi filmmaking, in terms of blockbuster filmmaking, and it does all. It's the closest thing we have to The Dark Knight for this decade in terms of cultural impact, in terms of hitting upon themes that are relevant to the broader, socio-political climate. I think for Will Win, it is really tough because all 4 of these could likely work.
Mm-hmm.
But man, because I'm gonna go with Nosferatu.
Okay. Kogias says Christopher Reeve not getting any nominations. Too bad. Deserves at least 1 nomination. Yeah, but the thing with that is, Kogias, like, what would we have put it in? Because we don't have a best documentary. And honestly, PerGron, I was kind of going through the nominations. I was kind of surprised. Like, we kind of snubbed best editing as a category. I'm kind of surprised we didn't have best editing in there.
It's okay. Next year we'll probably end up bringing some back and getting rid of some and changing up the roster.
That's honestly one of my favorite parts about the Golden Tikis is that we're pretty flexible with what categories we actually use from year to year.
Yeah, like who knows? Maybe next year, best cameo. But Tiki, we're missing one. We're missing an award.
What are we missing?
The most prestigious award of the night.
Oh my God, you're right. How could I forget? How could I forget PerGron?
So because you forgot, I'm going to take this one.
Myself.
I'm going to take this one from you, Tiki. Okay. Before we reveal the winner of Best Picture.
Rohith has no idea what the fuck we're talking
Rohith's going to be really confused. Before we reveal the winner of Best Picture of the Year, the second most important award of the night, we do have one final award. We have the Sing Sing Award for absolute dog shit distribution of a film, in which the nominees are A24 for Sing Sing. And the winner is A24 for Sing Sing. What the fuck were you doing?
Yeah, they chopped themselves in the goddamn foot to get a Best Picture nomination with that one, man. It still hasn't come anywhere near me. I don't think
it's on.
Will.
It's on VOD now, I think.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Rohith, did you keep tabs on that at all? Just how little Sing Sing actually got released this year?
I was aware that it had distribution issues, but man, I can't think of any other movies that were trying to get Oscar buzz that didn't have as good of a distribution. But usually A24, it's always the thing where they'll have two movies and they'll prioritize one over the other. And last year it was like Queer over Sing Sing to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
And Queer just has like an acting nom for Daniel Craig and not much else.
I mean, Queer didn't even get into Best Actor at the Oscars.
Yeah, it just hit BAFTA.
And,
and I think SAG. I think it got SAG.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, with the suspense drawn.
So just to reiterate one more time, the nominees for Best Picture are The Substance, Nosferatu, Hundreds of Beavers, and Dune Part 2.
Before you open, I'm going to change Will Win to The Substance.
Good job!
Oh, yeah!
Oh my God.
I locked in, baby. I fucking locked in. I was like, wait.
That was awesome. So the voting breakdown on that went, The Substance was at 11. Hundreds of Beavers was at 8. My baby was so close. It was so close. I'm proud of him for getting second. For a while there, like for the first few hours that the poll was open, it was pulling ahead by quite a bit. I was like, oh, could it actually happen? PerGron, I feel like The Substance was your baby in this race, and then Hundreds of Beavers was mine.
Yeah, I was very happy. Like, I would have been happy with either. Both are in my top 3. Mm-hmm. But I was happy that my ladies, The Substance, ended up pulling ahead.
Nosferatu got 3. Doom Part 2 only got 2, and that leads us to PerGron.
My observation is, despite introducing the Zendaya clause for both challengers and Dune Part 2, for how many times we were going to nominate this shit.
Oh my God, you're
neither
right.
won a single award tonight.
Yep.
Neither Dune Part 2 nor challengers, two of your top 3 of the year.
And honestly, the only reason that A Complete Unknown is above Doom Part 2 is rewatchability. I mean, Doom Part 2 is the best experience I've ever had in a movie theater. I can't quite get that same experience at home. But also, more importantly, I just my OCD just would not allow my top 2 to just not budge the whole year. So I was like, I got to make some sort of adjustment here. I got to I got to do something to throw it
I
throw it
think
off.
if I can make an observation also, I think the fact of Challengers and Dune Part 2 not really getting any awards this year for this Tiki's is probably reflective of the fact that these movies came out really early in the year. And I
Right.
think by the time people, are following and like watching whatever movies are being talked about, a lot of the winners, especially the nominees have gotten traction or movies that came out most recently, and so there's kind of the recency bias that plays into that favor.
The only argument I have for that, Rohit, is that the last 2 Oscar seasons, Oppenheimer came out in July.
Mhm.
Everything Everywhere All at Once came out in like April, May at the latest.
May, I think, yeah.
I thought it was a March release.
I think you're right. So it's like everyone keeps saying like, oh, well, of course Challengers wasn't going to get anything because it was I'm like, fuck you. Challengers came out in May. Okay. It came out halfway through the year. And Doom Part 2 was a fucking cultural event. Like,
yeah. Well,
so
I think though Everything Everywhere All at Once and Oppenheimer were movies that were also respected cultural events. Challengers, for as much as I really appreciate that movie, that was never a movie that like I don't think you could say Challengers is a movie that like your mom or like a normie could like in the same.
I took my grandma to go see Challengers in theaters twice.
Man, you have a very cool grandma.
And I do have a very cool grandma. I will admit that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you and her should see Sergeant Rock whenever that comes out.
See what?
Sergeant Rock.
I don't even know what that is.
That's Luca Guadagnino's next movie. It's a DC movie.
All right.
So before we go, I have a couple numbers I want to give out.
Yeah, go ahead.
So tying for first place with most wins, we have The Substance, Nosferatu, Flow, and Wicked.
Oh, that's wild.
Each with 3 wins.
Wow.
In second with 2 wins is Hundreds of Beavers.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of the rest are single wins with A Real Pain, My Old Ass, Deadpool and Wolverine, Anora, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Actually, no, Apes got 2. Sorry. I fucked that one up. Speak No Evil, Memoir of a Snail, and Joker, Folly Adieu, and Sing Sing, each getting 1. So, and then I was tallying this as well.
Okay.
Our wins we each nominated, right? Mm-hmm. So I was tallying which one each of us nominated won.
Oh, fuck me. You ran away with this.
I ran away with this with 16 of my picks winning the award, while 6 of your picks won, Tiki.
Oh, that's nuts.
And both of us agreed that the Wicked gals would be nominated. Unfortunately, they didn't win. So, so I ran away with 16 to your 6.
That's crazy.
My guesses were all over the place. I started a good and then thankfully ended on a good note. Because honestly, the Hundreds of Beavers and Flow just like threw me in a loop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I will say, I think probably my overall favorite thing about this season of the Golden Tikis is just the diversity in the winners. Having a 4-way tie for the most wins, that is something I don't think we're ever going to see at the Oscars. I think the Oscars just loves to, and honestly, like, thank God, let's give an update on the Oscar situation. I think Amelia Perez is dead, right? It's
out. I'm surprised they haven't kicked out Gascon yet.
Right.
I'm surprised they haven't been like, yeah, Gascon is no longer eligible. Which is going
to show up at the award ceremony at this point?
Who knows?
By Gascon's own dollar.
Yeah, like I know that if they pull her award, that's going to be bad optics on the Oscars part, because
that's literally the only reason they
the first ever trans nominee. But like, oh my God, what a piece of shit!
I feel like Sophia Carson Gascon kind of like represents everything wrong. Like her as a person is kind of like eerily similar to just like what's wrong with Amelia Perez,
which is
as a
crazy
movie.
because
Yeah.
when Amelia Perez, when she transitions, all of her bad stuff goes away. But when Carlos
It's
Opia
almost kind
Gascon
of
did
like
it,
that's not how that works.
right? It's almost like transitioning doesn't get rid of the sins of your
Oh
past.
my God.
And if you're a shitty Islamophobic, homophobic, racist person, you're gonna maintain that through even your fucking. She was throwing strays at fucking like BTS fans. Like, she called them a Chinese group. Like,
That's like Azalea Banks level hater.
yeah,
Oh my
like
god.
everyone was catching strays with this lady. She was throwing them out, and she's like, Adele, she may have had surgery to lose weight. Like, and they didn't remove the skin under her arms or something. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure
yikes.
Adele didn't have surgery, but even if she did, what the fuck?
Maybe
Isn't Adele's whole message about body positivity and shit? Like, who
And she,
cares?
like, Gascon tweeted some like, I don't want to misquote it, but it was something Hitler related. And then she went on a call or on an interview, and they're like, yeah, all of these tweets. And there was one bashing Selena Gomez, and she literally looks at the guy and goes, I didn't tweet that one.
Maybe
Congratulations, you didn't tweet that one, but you tweeted the other ones.
she won't tweet her way to a Best Actress win, but she likely will tweet her way to a political office.
But yeah, I think she's damaged everything. I think she has single-handedly gotten herself from winning. I think not that she was going to, but I think single-handedly she has removed herself from contention.
I honestly think the only category that it has a chance in, besides maybe a couple technicals, is Zoe Saldana.
Even then, I think enough people are like, this lady's freaking out.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't think it's front runner for picture anymore, which thank God.
Thank God. Honestly, at this point, I'm kind of with some other people where it's like I could weirdly see I'm Still Here taking it all at this point.
I mean, maybe. I'm still thinking it's Honora, but
I'd like to see Honora. I'm rooting.
I feel like the Brutalist has a good shot as well.
I think I wouldn't be surprised to see the Brutalist take it, even though people don't seem to be able to finish it.
Right. But if they stop in the first half, then they don't get to.
Yeah, they don't get to the shitty stuff. So,
so the main character literally getting raped by the American dream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm predicting Honora at this point. A lot can change between now and March. Maybe Amelia Perez has the world's greatest rebound.
Oh dear God.
Or maybe Honora pulls out, or maybe, it's not going to happen, but I'm going to manifest it. Maybe the Substance pulls out and goes like, hey, we're the only not problematic one here right now.
Dune.
No, Sing.
Dune killed Denis Villeneuve. Like, Denis Villeneuve sold his soul for Dune, and it doesn't matter. Dune's like, nope, not happening.
The Academy will redeem itself by giving all the awards to Sing Sing.
Yeah, Sing Sing's gonna come in with a metal chair.
Like, get out of here, Amelia Perez.
Who is it? Oh, it's Clarence Macklin with a metal chair.
All right, and on that note, I think we're going to get out of here, guys, because I actually do want to keep this under an hour and a half officially. Big thanks to Kogias, LEB, and Aquatad. I hope I'm saying that right in the comments. It's been a fabulous award season. I've been having a blast with it. I'm honestly low-key depressed that I don't get to follow along with the polls anymore. All right, yeah. Have a good night, everyone.
We'll see you next year for the 3rd annual Golden Tikis.
Indeed.